Hey guys, we are going to read a picture book called Inky the Octopus, and they say it's based on a true story. So you be the judge. Here it is. This is called Inky the Octopus by Aaron Wendelsberger, and art is by David Leonard. And he doesn't like to be in his aquarium. I live in a world of see-through walls. In a tank with a locked-down lid, I'm fed like a king 3 meals a day of lobster, shrimp, and squid. I know I have a good life and should want for nothing more. But something tugs at my curious heart that I simply cannot ignore. Out of this tank, I must be free. I must explore the open sea. I've always liked 8-arm charades and seaweed hide and seek. I've had fun playing gravel hockey and tentacle tag each week. But I long to see a brand new world of plants and rocks and fish. Discovering things I've never known has become my only wish. Out of this tank, I must break free. I hear the ocean calling me. What is this? Tonight it seems my tank lid is ajar. This could be my one chance for change. Dare I hope that far? I tell my tank mate Blotchy we should bid our tank adieu. I tell him we'll be happier exploring someplace new. Blotchy says he'd rather stay within his comfy home. He doesn't feel the pull to see the far and great unknown. And so this quest I must take on is one I'll take alone. I'll be a solo traveler when I set off to roam. Out of this tank I must break free. My heart flies to the open sea. Here I go to the top of the tank. I slide one arm outside. The air in the room feels dry and cool. The space feels free and wide. I lift through arms 2, 3, and 4. Next, 5, 6, 7, 8. My head is last, and then I'm sliding down the tank's glass plate. The floor feels strange beneath me. Odd noises fill the room. The air smells different from my tank. It's freedom in full bloom. I sneak across the rough wood floor as fast as I can go. My 8 arms latch and then release. My sense of excitement grows. But can I leave my life, my friends, and all I've ever known? My hearts say yes. Today's the day to strike out on my own. The sea lies just ahead of me, so in and down I dive. I'm falling fast toward what's to come. I've never felt so alive. I plunge, I swim, I breathe, I whirl, I float, I spin, I glide. I'll follow my heart wherever it leads. I'll travel far and wide. Out of my tank, at last I'm free. Long may I journey the splendid sea. And the article on the left is about Inky's ingenious escape, the triumphant true story. The book you just read is based on the real-life story of Inky the Octopus, who escaped from the National Aquarium of New Zealand in 2016. After Inky was found injured in a crayfish pot, he was taken to the aquarium for recovery, where he lived for 2 years with a tank mate named Blotchy. One night, the lid of Inky's tank was left slightly open by mistake. Based on arm prints found on the floor the next morning, workers at the aquarium believe Inky squeezed through the opening in his tank, slid down the side, and slithered across the floor. Octopuses like Inky are nimble contortionists, able to pass through openings as small as a coin. I can hardly believe that. The only explanation for Inky's escape is that once free of his tank, he squeezed through an even smaller opening, a drain hole only 6 inches wide, and miraculously made it out to sea. But I wonder how they know that he made it out to sea. I guess because he wasn't stuck in the drain, I guess, right? Whew. Inky left his tank mate blotchy behind in favor of the challenge and allure of the escape. He didn't even leave us a message, the aquarium manager said. Escape artists and marine biologists alike hope this Houdini of the sea is now happily swimming across the open ocean. And that picture on the top of the page on the left is Inky in his tank before his escape. How could he fit in a 6-inch drain? And there's information on the bottom about the National Aquarium of New Zealand. Inky's former home at the National Aquarium of New Zealand in Napier was the country's first aquarium, with its beginnings stretching back to 1956. Today, this aquarium is home to over 100 diverse animals from New Zealand and around the world. With the goal of protecting natural habitats and biodiversity, the aquarium works closely with scientists, schools, and the community. And then there's some other odd octopuses. Otto. One night at the Sea Star Aquarium in Coburg, Germany in 2008, all the lights went out. The electricity was fixed in the morning, but it went out again the next night and the next. So aquarium workers settled in for an all-night stakeout. The culprit, an octopus named Otto. The workers had trained Otto to squirt water at visitors, and Otto figured out that he could put his skill to another use, squirting water at the light above his tank to turn off all the lights. Otto was also known to enjoy playing with a chessboard until he grew bored of it and tossed it away, right out of the aquarium. And Flo, in 2009, an octopus at the Santa Monica Pier Aquarium in California flooded the aquarium with about 200 gallons of seawater. The relatively small but very handy octopus Flo took apart a water valve in her tank, letting seawater pour out for about 10 hours until the first aquarium worker arrived at the scene of the crime. And then there was Sid. Sid the octopus tried escaping the Portobello Aquarium in New Zealand several times before aquarium workers decided to release him back into open waters in 2009. This aquarium is no stranger to sneaky octopuses. Sid's predecessor, named Harry, or Harry Houdini, used to sneak out of his tank to eat crayfish from a neighboring tank. Workers originally thought the missing crayfish was a prank perpetrated by biology students until Harry was caught replacing the lid on the crayfish tank and returning to his own tank. Okay, now if these are true stories, that is just unbelievable. Pretty cool. And so you could do some research on octopuses and see why they just seem kind of smart if he's replacing the lid back on to the crayfish tank. Pretty cool. All right, so his love for freedom was just too great. He couldn't stick around in the tank anymore. I'm kind of in love with Inky, I have to say. All right, you guys have a good night.